When you change your mindset, it will literally change your life. Don't know how? Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal. For those of you that are here for the very first time, some people call me Little Baller, and I am your results and transformation coach. And on this channel right here, we talk about total transformation, everything that have to do with your mind, your body, and your soul. And in today's video, we're going to talk about mindset. And I'm over here chuckling to myself because your girl recorded this entire video, right? And when I went to go edit the video, there was absolutely no sound. And I was thinking, girl, all the things that you just shared with everybody that they didn't hear because there was no sound on, speaking of sound, let me make sure my mic is on, I get to apply. So, people often ask me, they're like, Crystal, you always seem to look at the brighter side of things. You're always so positive. Like how sway. So I want to share with you how I myself have learned to create, develop, and maintain a positive mindset no matter if I'm in the storm, coming out of the storm, or going through the storm. And I'm going to share 10 tips with you on how you can personally build up to having a positive mindset and just look at the greater things. And I can say that one of the game changers for me is back in 2018, I was in a car accident and I didn't think I was going to make it to see the next day. And that's one of those things that I reflect back on whenever I start to become angry or like I feel myself going to that space that I don't like to go. It's like, you know what, girl, you could not be here today. And I'll often share that with folks when I'm talking about mindset and how to push through because that's a real thing. Think about it. Like if you really sit for a second and think about it, there's somebody that thought they were going to be here today and they're not. And the problems and the challenges that we get to grow through, they would love to trade places with us. So that by itself is a game changer and an eye opener. So let's jump into these 10 tips on how you can start today to cultivate a positive mindset. And anytime that I speak and when I'm speaking, as you're listening to me today, remember, just be committed to 1% better every day. That has been my spiel with everything because sometimes we as a people, we want it right away. Like you may not have developed whatever type of broken mindset or whatever you want to call it overnight. So you got to give yourself some grace in all that we do. I opened up by sharing that on this channel, we talk about total transformation, everything to do with your mind, your body, and your soul. So whenever you're working on all of those, right, wherever you are today, it didn't just happen overnight. It was habit after day after day after second after minute, hour, week, day, time, all that. So learn to give yourself some grace as you go through this process. All right. So, number one, get your pen and your pencil out because you're going to want to write these down and revisit them when you feel yourself going to that other space that we don't want to reside. All right. So, first of all, starting your day with gratitude. As I shared before, like I love my journal. I have been journaling now for about 6 to 7 years. And the gratitude piece is something that I started with. And I didn't even believe in this at first. I would hear people talk about it and I'm like, that's so corny. But what I realized, like when I started to like really study other people and watch their actions, because people will watch you before they listen to you. We could talk all day long, but people are going to watch our actions. So I would literally sit back and watch, and then I would hear like different tactics that people were applying, and I'm like, man, I want that. So I've learned how to be grateful, right, and utilize my gratitude journal. So literally every morning when I wake up, I'm writing down all the things that I'm grateful for that I have and all the things that I am grateful for that I'm looking to attract. And I believe that starting your morning off is very key to this because when we wake up in the morning, don't like reach for the news or your phone. Literally just my first words is thank you, Lord, for allowing me to see another day. I'm truly grateful for that. And anything that we build, we want to make sure that we build a strong foundation so that as we grow, as we continue to build rather, it'll be even more stable, because you can wake up on a Sunday and do your gratitude. That's not going to last you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is something that we get to do every single day. It's almost like clockwork. Number two, surround yourself around positivity, right? So you want to make sure that you're around other people that is filling and fueling your positive space. Or that's not what I meant to say. You want to be around, you want to surround yourself around people that is talking positive, that is like sending you and supporting your positive vibes. Because when you're around a bunch of negativity, it'll eventually get on you. So that's number two. Number three, and this is super important, to practice positive self talk. The enemy without is not on the outside of us, is not what kills us. It's the enemy on the inside, like how we talk to ourselves. And I'm very like, I told you I'm going to be fully transparent. That was me. Like, you're not good enough. Your speech isn't perfect enough. Your vocabulary isn't long enough. These are all the things that stop me from like even recording YouTube videos or talking out in front of people, because of the negative self-talk that I had. So I had to change that. It take a lot of work to change it. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. But what we tell ourselves, right, is eventually what come to pass, or how we operate. So we have to learn how to have self-love and tell ourselves, you are amazing, you are strong, you are powerful. I tell myself all the time, you are an amazing, powerful public speaker. And as powerful as I just said that, there's still that little thing on the inside of me. But the more you feed that thought, and the more that you understand that when God created you, he broke the mold. And when people used to say that, I was like, oh, that's kind of arrogant. But if you think about it, like, we all have a purpose, and he created us all, and we all have greatness on the inside of us. We get to wake up, right, and figure out what that is, and operate in that powerfully. So, yes, that's big. Okay, and focus on solutions, not problems. So, when you sit back and think about your yesterday and your week before and your month before. So one of the things I do when I say I'm a transformation coach, I have a lot of clients that I help that want to become more healthier. Most of my clients are looking to release some weight. And when we do weekly, monthly, whatever, daily check-ins or whatever, and let's say the weekend went by, the first thing a lot of times they say is, oh my gosh, I messed up. I had this on Friday, this on Saturday, this on Sunday. Now it's Monday morning. So, I listen, because that's what I do. And then I share with them like, okay, cool. Guess what? You're not going to see Sunday again. You're not going to see Saturday again. You're not going to see Friday again. We are great at this. We will take a thing that happened in the past and we would carry that. And as we carry all of that and try to move forward, it's just extra weight. And it's hard to propel forward when you're carrying all that stuff. When it's Monday morning, right? I said 1% better every day. And this is why I preach and talk and teach 1% better every day, because most times we get excited. We're like, oh yeah, I want to become a better speaker. I want to drop some weight. I want to, get closer to God. We'll say this, right? And then we'll say, I'm going to do this. And we put all this pressure on ourselves. And the moment that we're not able to do this, in that order, then now we feel defeated. Right? And then we start thinking about, dang, I didn't do this, and dang, I didn't do that. Let's focus on today and what we have in front of us, and literally start to build on that. I promise you, I say 21 days, you can get an amazing result 21 days, whether you're looking to like your memory verses, or if you're looking to drop some weight, or you're just looking to feel better on the inside, or if you want to work on your mindset. 21 days will get it. 21 days at a time, you get to work on that. And I would say first, find you a space and learn to release all the things that you are carrying that is heavy. We talked about the negative thoughts and just thinking about the past and bringing all of that stuff forward with you. We can't change yesterday. And for the life of me, I don't know why I say we, because I still sometimes do this and I have to stop myself. I don't know why I reached back to yesterday or last week or last month or last year and take all those thoughts and those things and those failures or what have you and carry them forward with me. It'll weigh you down. You can move so much faster. We can move so much forward faster, however you say it, if we just release those things. We can't change none of that. So that's that. Focus on solutions. Number 5, visualize your success. I think this is so important too. We cannot hit a target that we do not see. So spend time like just sitting and thinking about even what we just talked about. Just think about like how your mindset is set up right now and how you have negative self-talk, right? For a second. Give that just a couple seconds to acknowledge it, because we acknowledge where we are, and then sit and envision where you want to go. You got to see it before you see it. You see it happening. Like I literally, manifest it, pray about it, fast about it. And even when I talk about visualizing your success, one of the lessons I personally have, as I'm now a little bit more seasoned, because remember, we're not old, we're seasoned. We have a little bit more wisdom, because the old Crystal, I'm one of those people that if I have a goal, it's a wrap. I'm not moving from the goal. It's like I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to work as hard as I need to work. I'm going to do whatever it's going to take for me to win, for me to achieve, or what have you. But what I've learned to do is to go to God and say, Lord, we have this conversation all the time. It's me again. And my prayer is really, this is a prayer. If there's anything that I am searching for, seeking for, pressing for, that's on my vision board, that's in my journal, that is not your will for me, just please remove it from my heart. Because I believe that the only person that could stop me from achieving anything that I'm going for is myself. And when I take that, all of my goals, all of my wishes, all of my dreams and things of that nature, and I pair it with, Lord, is this your will for me? Once he sign off on that, it's a wrap. Nobody, you can't stop me, I can't stop you. But when we learn to reside and live in that space, that's a big game changer right there. Big game changer. So hopefully I'm able to help somebody skip over what I used to do, because now that I'm past the situation, I could look back, and we probably all can do this, where you can look back over your life and you can see, yeah, I had that goal I was going for, and God wasn't nowhere in it. Because I'm very clear, there's nothing that, at this point in my life, there is no thing that I want to do without God, no matter what it is. So when I be writing my goals, I'm praying over it, and my vision, I'm like, this is what I desire to have, Lord. If it's not something that if it's not your will for me, just remove it from my heart. Because like I said, I'm one of those people, once I get locked in, I'm just working hard. And we have to learn too how to discern between the two, because just because you experience some type of turbulence doesn't necessarily mean that it's not for you. So we got to make sure we don't make that mistake too, because people will do that. They'll have a goal, and they'll start working towards it, and they'll experience some resistance, and then they'll say, oh, this ain't for me, this ain't what God wants for me. But how do you know? So you get to spend some time. Like, I can't tell you when it's a green light, when it's a red light, only he can. But I just want to make sure that you're clear, because you heard my testimony, and what I just said doesn't work that way for everybody. Like, even myself, sometimes you have to pray and you have to sit there. Everything, just because it's his will for you, it doesn't mean that it's just going to be easy for you to achieve it. So some of it is going to be some of it is going to be like little trials that is put in front of us to make us better, and sometimes God's going to be like, nope, that ain't for you. So how do we know which is which? You just got to stay prayerful. Like, keep on talking to him. He will tell you. He might not say, Crystal, like, so if I went to him in prayer, let's just say, what am I? So I'm working on this new brand, okay? And so I'm praying about it. Like, Lord, is this for me? Should I move on it? Should I not move on it? So if I experience some turbulence, I'm not going to say, like the old me probably would have, but I'm not going to say, oh, this isn't for me because I'm challenged. You got to fight through that challenge and make sure that it's God and it's not just a trial that you need to push through. Because sometimes he'll put stuff in front of us to see who we're going to depend on. You're going to depend on yourself, your friends, your supporters, or you're going to depend on me. And I'm trying to tell you what I know, because I've been there. So I'm just, in my walk, I'm just learning how to discern between the two. And so it's like you just it'll come. So I don't have one answer for you, but to say just stay connected and just stay prayerful. He hear you and he will answer, but we just have to be obedient to the answer that he give when he give it. Okay, limit exposure to negativity. Be mindful of the content that we consume. What Crystal don't do is I never wake up in the morning and turn on the news. The news is so full of negative. It might be real stuff happening, but it's so negative. You ever wake up excited, like, oh, today is going to be amazing. You turn on the news and they're like, this one got shot. This one stole a car. This one ran this one over. It's just so much. I have enough people that I'm surrounded with. Like, so when I'm at work, my ladies will come through and they're like, they fill me in on what's happening. But you just got to really be cognizant of exposing yourself to negativity because it's going to get on you and then it's going to get in you if you stay around it long enough. It's just like you ever been around people that they're just like, oh my God, woe is me and this is bad and never nothing's ever good for me and blah, 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 blah. It sounds like it literally starts to sound like, whoa. Now, granted, if you have coworkers, you have to go to work. So we have to learn how to press forward. Or I'm sorry. So we have coworkers, we have to go to work, we have family members that you have to live with. It could come from anywhere. So I've just learned how to turn a deaf ear to it. So if you know that you cannot literally like just leave your job or just leave your family or just leave the boat or just leave the airport, wherever you are, then you have to practice and learn how to turn on your mute buttons. I'm learning to master that. I hear you, but I don't because we absorb and we take on a lot of other people's stuff. And if you continue to open yourself to that, it'll weigh you down. It's not even your problem. You'll be feeling amazing. And don't get me wrong, there's a difference between a friend coming to you and we all need that space where we may need to just let it out. But once it's out, it's out, it's out. It's not you're not letting it out every 30 minutes or every time you come over. Like you have to have boundaries when it comes to that. So just be really cognizant of that. Number 7, and this is funny, mindfulness and meditation. I've told y'all before, I've tried to meditate. I just be moving all the time. So, but we really should try to just be still sometime. And remember, I said these are small steps that we get to take. Even if you, Crystal, just take 1 minute a day where you just sit and try to block everything out of your mind and just breathe. Because the way this world is and the way that we move, well, I can talk about me. Always moving, moving, moving. Very seldom do I sit and just in quiet and peace. I tried it one time. I don't know if you heard the story, but let me tell you, I tried it. I said, I'm going to do it 10 minutes a day. I'm going to do it every day for 10 minutes. I set my timer on my phone. So I just sat back, set it for 10 minutes, right? I was like, I could do this. I could do this. About 3 minutes in, I'm feeling like it's like 3 minutes. It's like, man, why I feel like this time is not moving. I was so anxious and so used to not just sitting still. I got to a point and I was like, wait, did you really set the timer? Man, I opened my eyes. It was 3 seconds left. See that? Right where I was about to have my breakthrough, I opened up my eyes. So, but really learning how to just sit in peace and quiet. And this is something that I am working on mastering just for 1 minute a day. Because when you hear about how people meditate for an hour or 30 minutes and how it really helped. So I know there's different forms of meditation and all that other good stuff. I'm just talking about sitting and just blocking all the thoughts from your head and just sitting and emptying out your thoughts and just resting. Like that's it. It's so hard to do because we're always, I know me, I always got like thoughts all over and ideas and I'm always like just going, 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 going. So it behooves us to just sit. For me, it's a challenge. So I'm like, yo, you can do that for 1 minute a day. Start small. Because when I saw, you see people doing it for a longer length, it's like, yo, I'm going to do this for an hour a day. The devil is a straight liar. You are not going, you are not. So you got to know yourself. So, hey, I'm enrolling you guys. Start with 1 minute a day if you're not already doing so and build it up from here. That's only 7 minutes a week. That's not a lot of time. That's not, no matter how much you have on your plate, that is not a lot of time. Number 8, set realistic goals and then celebrate your progress. So I'm going to tell you to celebrate realistic goals, goals that you know you can achieve. Then I'm going to tell you to set astronomical, how do you say it? Goals, have goals too that I think that's the only kind of goals that I set most times. Those that you know that you cannot achieve. But I say that to say, so for example, I know if I set the goal, which I have, to release 10 pounds, I could do that. I could do that. Just change my eating up a little bit. It's not even about the exercise. It's 80% nutrition. Change up your eating. I can show you how. If you're under the sound of my voice and you're like, well, show me, girl. Let me know. I can show you how you can release 10 pounds with no exercise. I like for people to exercise because it helps them to condition their heart. So I have those goals that I know with my ability and what I have access to, I can achieve. But I like those big faith goals, those goals where I gotta go have a conversation with Jesus. I'm like, look, Lord, what are we doing? And going back to, like I said, praying to make sure that the goals that you have line up with His will, so you're not chasing your tail. But I like those because I literally, some of the things I write down, I'm like, if the Lord don't do it, it is not going to get done. And yes, I love relying on Him, and I love to see Him just do what He do. So I'm going to, yes, tell you to set realistic goals, but also for all of my believers out there, like also raise your bar and set a goal that's going to make you become a different version of yourself. Because where I am right now, like there's a whole bunch of goals I could set where I'm at, I can achieve. But I want to build it better and become better, and I want to be stretched. In order to be stretched, you're going to have to, you know, raise your bar. And for example, this is just a tangible goal. Let's just say, I would love to have a house that is 7 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. I mean, this is really astronomical, really crazy. But let me just, I'm trying to think of something that I've actually written down. I'm looking at my vision board over here. So one of the things is, and I could do that on my own too, but I want to do it at God's speed. One of my goals is to become debt free and to master budgeting. So I can do that on my own, but I'm I want God to show me how to do it at His speed. Because if you take, and it really does, my personal opinion, take you really locking in, because it's very easy to need things you don't need. Like they say, is it a need or is it a want? So whenever you are in that space where you're like, you know what? I want to become debt free. Needing something to eat and going to Chick-fil-A is not a need. That's a want. Because you can take that same money, and I just had this conversation with one of the kids the other day. You can take that same money and you can create so many more meals. So, you have to develop that discipline. Some people don't have the power to do that on their own. But with God, He can slowly but surely change that for you. That's probably not the best example, but I'm sure I'll have some later, because I've sometimes, y'all listen. Let me just take you back to before I had my restaurant. That was one time where, so I went to school for education, computer science, and American studies. Graduated, taught a couple years, and then came up with this idea. Yo, I want to open up a restaurant. I didn't go to school to learn how to manage people. I didn't even go to school to learn how to measure this, that, and the other. And I told you, I'm one of those people that if I once I'm locked in, I'm going for it. So you of course prayed about it. God made a way. I had to literally lean on Him. When I tell you, I watched Him work every step of it. And even today, like that was back in 2000, and telling my age, that was back in like 2005. And one of my prayers right now, honestly, is like I want my mindset to go back to where it was before, because all God had to do was say this, and I was on it. Where I've eventually learned how to do a lot of different things on my own, and I realized I started to lean in on my own ability and lean in on my own strength. And what end up happening is you find yourself way out there in the ocean with no support. So I'm like, man, if I could just get my mindset to go back to where it was before, which I'm there, I'm working on that. I'm like, Lord, like there's nothing, no thing I want to do without God. And He's slowly but surely like just doing what it is that He do. All right, that's probably another topic, but number 9, learn from failures and setbacks. I think this is uber important as well. Yes, we have, as I just shared with you, we learn through our experiences and we learn from our setbacks, but we don't bring it up front with us. Meaning, like when I talked a minute ago, when I said, what did I say? I had said, focus on the solutions, not the problems. Now we are learning from our failures and setbacks. Don't dwell on it, learn from it, take the lesson and move forward to build it better. And one of the things an example rather that I'll share. went to college, right? When we went to college, they were just giving credit cards out, blah, blah, blah. And college, I went to school, I had a basketball scholarship, so I didn't have nothing to pay for at all except for my personal stuff. So we get credit cards, and you like, oh, okay, I'm a shop. Nobody was teaching you the lesson. One card here, one card there, one card. I've learned the next thing you know, you got all this debt that you got to pay off. That was a lesson, right? So, it was a lesson, and then you forget about things, and then you start to do it again. I'm at the point now, I don't even want to see a credit card. I have two. And I'm like, I don't, because if you don't create the discipline, you're just going to go right back to where you were before. So we get to learn from that and grow, embrace the lessons and improve. And last but not least, and I think this is, I know I probably said they all were important. Number 10 is just commit to personal growth. My thing is, I'm committed to becoming 1% better every day. Every day is day one. No matter how I perform today, when I wake up tomorrow, if I'm committed to that commitment, I'm not talking. It sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna become 1% better every day. People say it all the time, but we don't really sit and evaluate how was yesterday and what is it today that I'm gonna do that's 1% better, not 5%, not 50%, not 80%, not 100%, because most people are not able to keep up with that cadence. But 1% better, you could do 1% better. If your thing is, hey, I need to get more water in, and you drunk 16 ounces yesterday, drink 17 the next day. It's the small changes that we make over time. You're going to look up and be like, yo, I did that without the extra pressure, without the extra, like we put all this pressure on ourselves and then we bust, and not in a good way. Not like the pressure where you come out a diamond, but the pressure where it can mess you up, because there's two types. I want to be the type where, they say apply the pressure and you come out shining bright like a diamond. But I wasn't talking about that. So that is that. Like really embrace the challenges. I've embraced the challenges as opportunities to enhance your skills and your mindset. Yo, you hear it over and over again, and it's a real thing. When you choose, and I say choose because it's all a choice, when you choose to change your mindset, trust me when I tell you, I'm not, yes, I did read it, but these are things that I applied. It will literally change your life. Rome was not built overnight, but if you learn to lock in and commit to that, I promise you, you're going to come back to this video prayerfully and be like, girl, you was right. I did this, and I'm a new creature. Oh, let me say it again. Because I was right. You're gonna come back and be like, "Girl, I did this, and look at me now, shining bright like a diamond." But yes, like I said, everything start and stop with our mind. And another thing I failed to mention about the birds, and I'm sure you heard this before, we can't stop the thoughts. The thoughts are gonna come. The negative thoughts are gonna come, but they should come, and we should have tools, whether it's prayer, whether it's gratitude, whether it's affirmation, to be able to stop that bird from building a nest. Because the bird will build a nest. The more if you have the thought, I'm not good enough. Oh wow, I'm really not good enough. Because remember when this happened? And that's why that happened, because I really wasn't good enough. I'll talk about myself. I so even with speaking to you all now, this is outside of my comfort zone, but one of my goals is I want to die empty. And I believe that I've been through a lot in life that when I share my story, it's going to help somebody else. I have a passion to help people to become better all the way around. So even with this right here, this wasn't always easy. I mean, even today it's not easy, but I'm not allowing the bird to build a nest. But some days that bird, it'd be like the whole family up there. So anyway, I would tell myself like I would look at motivational speakers and people that were like empowering other people, and I would be at awe. And it's so crazy at the time when I'm look like, I don't know if you ever heard of Lisa Nichols. I love her story. Brene Brown, love her story. Mel Robbins, I love her story. Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, I would hear them, and they seem to grace the stage, and they seem to just be so eloquent and just so powerful. And I'm like, man, see how I said it. The more I said it, I started to shrink myself. And I've gotten to the point where it's like, girl, you don't remember anything. You have to write everything down. You're not good enough. Your words, my words, y'all, is a syllable and a half, barely. You're not good enough. You don't have anything to say. You repeat yourself over and over. You're not good enough. So this is literally what I've been feeding myself. And then I got to the point where I surrounded myself around other people that started to pour into me, and they're like, Crystal, you have a lot to say. And I'm like, really? Sometimes we got to borrow other people's eyes and other people's words of encouragement, because we may feel it a little bit, but we got to get to the point where we make that feeling grow and know that you are worth it, you are amazing. So that's how I was able to get here. But just because I'm here now doesn't mean that the birds aren't going to try to continue to build a nest. So hope you heard something that you like. Again, if you can, follow, like, and subscribe, and please comment and even share. And even with me saying, I don't think I will ever be in a video where I'm like, share the video with your other people, but I'm really, truly ready to be stretched and to reside outside of my comfort zone. Can't come back, can't come back. Can't wait to come back a year from now to see how this has grown. So, per usual, those of you that have a word of prayer, just continue to pray for me, my family, and that I continue on the path in which God put me on, that I stay faithful, and that I continue to change my mindset. So you have the most amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.